Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maura and I'm a physical therapist and certified yoga teacher. Today I'll be sharing a practice for hip mobility and flexibility. As always, please make sure that it is safe for you to be practicing yoga and that you are always listening to your body. Utilize props and variations to adapt poses to be comfortable in your body. Props are not required for this practice, but I do recommend having some blocks, a blanket, and a strap nearby to pull into your practice at any time. You can also check the description box for some other resources and a link to where you can get my free yoga pose guide for beginner. So let's get started today in a reclined butterfly pose. You can always place some blocks underneath the knees to support the hips if they don't quite feel open enough to come into butterfly pose just yet. And we're going to start with some deep breathing. I'm trying to lengthen the exhales, slow down the system. And your next inhale, gently use your hands to bring your knees back up. And we're going to widen the feet towards the edges of the mat, bringing the arms out to the side, and just allow the knees to drop over to the right for a wide-legged spinal twist. Not forcing anything, just kind of noticing how your body feels at the beginning of the practice today. And on your next inhale, bring the knees up and over and let them fall over to the other side. One side might feel different than the other. It's completely normal. Inhale the knees back up. And bring the feet in about hip width distance apart, taking the right ankle and crossing it over the left. You can stay here and press the hip open, or if you'd like more, you can take a hold of the back of the leg and bring the knees in toward you. Reclined figure four stretch, or reclined pigeon, it's sometimes called. This is a great substitute for pigeon if that pose doesn't work for you. Release your leg down, uncross the legs. Bring the opposite foot over the opposite knee, again staying here, or bringing the knees in toward you. release the legs down, uncross them, and come into knees into your chest. If you'd like, you can stay here, or you can grab a hold of the inner arches of the feet, coming into a happy baby, opening the hips a little more. Be sure to take really deep breaths in here, all the way down to your belly. A combination of breathing and stretching really helps to open up the muscles. Release whatever variation you've taken, and go ahead and rock and roll yourself up to a tabletop position. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, coming into some spinal mobility, cat and cow. As you inhale, reach, extend the spine, and exhale, flex and press away. One more round, and then we'll sit back to a child's pose. Lift your head when you're ready. Bring your weight forward, tuck the toes, and press up into downward facing dog. Taking any movements here to be comfortable in this pose. Sending the tailbone high, elongating the spine. Exhale down to your knees. We'll be doing a couple of kneeling poses. If you'd like to use a blanket or a pad, you can go ahead and prepare that, as well as any blocks that you might like to use. So from your hands and knees, we're going to move the right foot forward, coming into low lunge. Front knee is stacked over the ankle, letting the hips sink down. Back toes can be tucked or untucked. Exhale the hands down, left hand down, right arm up, low lunge twist. You can use a block here or bring your hand to the floor, whatever feels most comfortable for your range of motion. Release your hand down, walk your hands back into half splits. Keeping a slight bend in the knee if that's comfortable. I'm trying to lengthen through the hamstring here. Blocks are a great option to create some more space. Coming into a twist again in half splits. If you're comfortable doing this, keep your left hand down and then reach the right arm up. A little bit of a balance challenge here. Kind of like a mini twisted triangle. Release your hand down. Bring both hands to the left side of the mat, sweep that leg around, and come back up into your downward facing dog. I'm using the blocks here. You don't have to, but it just is a different feeling. And bring your knees to the mat, and we'll repeat on the other side. This time stepping the left foot forward in between the hands, lifting up high out of the hip, low lunge. Exhale your hands down, right hand down, left arm up, low lunge twist. And try and keep that front knee over the ankle. Don't allow it to drift. Hands to the mat. Walk your hands back, straightening the front leg. Half splits. There can always be a slight bend to that knee for comfort. If you'd like to come into half splits twist, keep your right hand down and bring your left arm up. Maybe you feel some stretching through the outside of that left leg. There's more of a balance challenge here than you'd think there would be. Release that hand to the mat. Bring both hands over to the right hand side. Swing that leg around. Plant your hands and press back up into downward facing dog. If you had any padding, you can go ahead and move that out of the way. Look forward and take little steps up to the top of your mat. Pause here in your forward fold and deeply bend the knees and roll up to mountain. Shift the weight into your right foot. Step back with your left foot and turn the toes out, coming into warrior two. Front knee is stacked over the ankle. Try and avoid letting it drift inward or outward to protect the joint. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, sweep that front leg down. Reaching the opposite arm up, extended side angle. Try and open towards the side of your mat. Look down, bring your left hand to the mat, and then turn your back toes so that both toes are facing the front of the mat. You're going to plant your hands and step that right foot back for downward facing dog. And look forward. Take little steps to the top of your mat. Pause here, release the head, forward fold. And bend the knees, roll up to mountain. Shift the weight into the left foot this time. Step back with the right and turn the toes open, opening to the side of the mat, warrior two. Front knee is stacked over the ankle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Be mindful of that front knee. Exhale, sweeping the forearm down to the front thigh, reaching the other arm up and over, extended side angle. Try and turn your body open. Look down, bring your right hand to the mat. Turn the back toes so that everything is facing forward. Plant your hands and step back, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Coming into pigeon pose. If this doesn't work for you, you're welcome to take reclined figure 4. Shift your weight forward, bring the right knee behind the right wrist, and then walk your leg back as far as you can go comfortably. Release the toes when you get there. If there's more space in between the pelvis and the mat, you can place a block or a blanket so that you can keep your pelvis level and relax. And if you'd like, come down to your elbows, maybe resting the head on a block. 10 deep breaths here. When you're ready, lift your head, walk your hands back up, tuck the back toes, lift up and out of your pigeon, back into downward facing dog, and take some pedaling motions. And feeling the sensation come back into that right leg. And we'll set up for the left side. Shifting the weight forward, bringing the left knee behind the left wrist. Walk your back leg back. Untuck the toes when you get there. And if there's any space in between the pelvis and the mat, take that space up with a block or a blanket so that you can fully relax into this pose. You can stay upright, or you can come down to the forearms, maybe resting the head on a block. 10 deep breaths here. Gently lift your head, walk back up, remove any props, tuck your back toes and press back up into downward facing dog. And bring your knees to the mat, coming into a seated position. We'll take butterfly or cobbler's pose, placing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to come down toward the mat. You can always use some blocks here to help with your flexibility and help the muscles relax. Hinging from the hips, take a deep inhale and then exhale, walk the hands forward, resting the head if that feels comfortable. 5 deep breaths here. And use your arms to crawl your way back up. Bring your knees in, stretch your legs out, staff pose, reaching through the heels, rooting through the sit bones, lifting through the crown. And take your right leg and cross it over the left. Reach the left arm up. Lean back slightly and hook that elbow on the knee, gently pressing you into a seated rotation. And keep breathing here. Unwind your twist, uncross your legs, reverse, take your left leg, plant it over the right, inhale the right arm up, and gently hook the elbow on the knee to twist. Unwind your twist, uncross the legs, and we'll make our way down to our back as we close our practice. Bend both knees, arms out to the side, and let the knees drift over toward the right side. Spinal twist. Inhale the knees up and over, maybe shifting the hips a bit as you let them drop over to the opposite side. Inhale the knees up and take any last movements or props that you need as you come into your Savasana, the final resting pose, for you to release all effort from your practice today. This is a very important pose, important not to skip. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. And take your time as you come up to a seated position, maybe rolling over to your side and pressing up. Bringing your hands to heart center, we'll take one last deep inhale and exhale to close our practice. Thank you so much for joining me for this yoga for hip mobility and flexibility. Leave a comment down below and let me know how this practice went for you and if you have any other requests. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more yoga, health, fitness, and injury prevention content. See you next time.